Have you ever caught your teenager sexting before? If so, what was your reaction? Did you freak out? Did you not know what to say? Well, according to a new study, you may want to rethink your approach. And if it happens again, don't go so hard on them, they say. Researchers at the University of Texas found that when older teens sext, it may simply be a healthy part of growing up. All right, so Dr. Robbie Ludwig is a psychotherapist. She joins me now, and I know there are parents sitting at home saying, I'm sorry, am I hearing her correctly? Now, they did look at teens age 17 who were in a committed relationship. Explain what they found.
So they found that sexting is not as deviant as they previously thought. In fact, it may be just a natural part of teen development and them discovering their sexual feelings, that teens are communicating digitally and sexting may be just a part of that.
Do you agree?
I do. And I think, listen, I have teens, and I remember in the school system, they warned us about sexting, and they almost framed it in this legal context, which frightened a lot of the parents. And I think what it did is it shut down communication by shaming teens, and we really don't want to do that as parents. Listen, kids are connecting through texting, sometimes more so than face-to-face, and in some cases they're sexting and not having sex in real life. So I think we need to understand this is natural. They are discovering themselves sexually and their sexual feelings, but we do want to open up the relationship that parents have with their teens so it can be an open conversation about the setbacks that can happen as well.
What does that look like? I mean, say you have a client in your office who's like, I have no idea how to talk to my teen about sexting.
Well, the first thing is just to say, listen, as my daughter or son, I want you to be able to talk to me about anything. I understand that sex is a natural part of life. And let's talk about sexting and when to say no if you feel that you are being pressured into it by your peers. There needs to be an understanding that everything that exists in cyberspace never goes away, and that things may not be as private as we like them to be when it comes to the digital world, but also that they should feel comfortable knowing that it's normal, it happens, you're not deviant. We get that this is a normal part of growing up. Let's do it in a way that's safe for you and protects you.
What is that age, though? I mean, this study was looking at 17-year-olds, but we looked at some of the statistics, and as young as 12, they're doing this, sexting.
Yeah. So the study showed that unwanted sexting created a lot of emotional anxiety and depression. But when teens were a little bit older and it was mutual and part of a committed relationship, it did not cause the same amount of distress. In fact, it could feel good. I think the bottom line is to instruct young kids, if they're not comfortable with it, they shouldn't do it. They don't have to engage in it, to be very careful what they share, because they have to think like a publicist. That's what I would say to my patients and my kids. You have to think like a publicist. Anything you put out there, imagine it being shared with everyone. Are you okay with that?
Well, and I think that's why probably your school was litigious about this, because we've done stories here on the show about 17-year-olds passing around these pictures. They could face child porn charges.
That's right.
And,
that's right.
There's a lot of people that say, listen, should we embrace the fact that they're a little bit more sexual and that they're acting out on it, or should we maybe go a little old school and say you should wait till you're older, till you know what a committed relationship is?
Oh, that is the million-dollar question. Listen, we need to understand that there are sexual feelings and impulses in humans, and especially teens. And the bottom line is to have the conversation, because not all teens are immature. Some kids understand what sexuality is and are more ready for it than others. I do think it should be a part of the high school education system so that those conversations are started with teens and their teachers, and that if we open it up, the moment we shame kids, we stop a conversation. So if we let them know that it's normal to have this desire and to open up a conversation with people that they feel that they can trust, that's always a positive.
Dr. Robbie Ludwig, as always, good to have you. Thanks.